master plan stating how the corporation will achieve its mission and objectives. So this is what we have discussed so far. Now there are three types of strategies. Okay. Now corporate, business, and functional. Corporate is basically the overall direction and the management of the business, and business is basically when you are dealing in a particular product or a service, then it will become your business strategy. And functional becomes when you are working within an organization in a particular department, then how that department can become efficient and can become give good results. That strategy they will formulate at that level is known as functional strategy. Now, this is in this diagram clearly shown that corporate strategies every time and only related with the corporate headquarters. So there you know that the top management directors, owners, real owners, shareholders, everyone is here. So whenever they formulate a strategy, that's known as corporate strategy. You know that an organization is having diversified business. They are dealing in the multiple product and services. Like we can talk of Reliance. You know, Reliance is having telecom. Reliance is having natural and oil gas. Reliance is having. They are manufacturing the electrical goods. So they every time whenever they want to become, a number one organization. You talk of the Tata, they are having Tata Automobiles consultancy services. Now they are having the hotels. So as a Tata, the corporate strategy that I should be number one in every sector. Now this is the vision they really are actually making. And then to reach that level, then they formulate a mission, and then they make a strategy which everyone at the lower levels have to follow. Now, this is what is corporate strategy. And then we are having the second level, which is known as business or the division level strategy. Now, if you go back to that lines, then they make a strategy different for their natural gas and for their telecom and for the other sections. Now, then based on a particular business, when you make a strategy, that's known as business level strategy. And in that business, in a particular department, if you want to achieve the we can say you want to achieve that departmental goals, you may have the smaller objectives. And suppose you want, like if like a Tata Automobiles example here, they want that they don't want to have a more defective products. Now this is the strategy which is basically related with the manufacturing. It's not uh, it's not basically related with the finance. So that strategy will be known as functional. And the second thing is when we want to reduce the cost and want to use the resource, utilize the financial resource in the best way, the strategy they will formulate and relate with the finance department, that will become the financial department functional strategy. And in the same way, marketing, R&D, and D, and human resource at their levels, they want make their departments, make their section of, we can say, best. The strategies they formulate at that time are known as functional strategies. Now, you know the what are the policies we have already discussed it so far. So broad guidelines for making decisions. What are the rules, regulations, and the guidelines you have to follow while making any strategy? That's the policies. Now there comes the strategy implementation. Now this is the third step of the strategic management. The process of putting strategies and policies into action through the development of. Now, whenever you want to implement that strategy, then you have to actually uh, implement it based on these three things. The first one is the programs, statement of activities or steps needed to accomplish a single use plan. Every time when you want to implement any strategy, then you really have to know those activities, the steps that you are going to take to accomplish that plan, to make that plan successful. So for that you make a statement, and that statements are known as programs. You have every time to look to the budget of an organization. because whenever you want to do something like in marketing and sales, I want to do the advertisement which costs me around crores of rupees. So it's important that before making the decision and formulating any strategy, I should be able to know the budget. And whenever you want to implement that, you need money to implement the strategy, because this is now the action that you have to take at the field. So at that time you have to look the budget. So budget will be helpful, not helpful, but a supportive activity while implementing the strategy. Then the procedures, because a lot of things that we do in the normal life, there's a SOP. So we have to work as per SOPs, because we know that there's an involvement of, in today's competitive world, for an organization there is technology involved, there is human resource involved, and there is, more importantly, the customers involved with in a proper system. So for that reason you really have to work in a better way, and that's possible only when you have a clear procedure in front of you. So strategy implementation have been completed now. It means that programs, budgets, and procedures are the key aspects that we have to take into consideration while implementing a strategy. Then the last thing is evaluation control. We know for simple management process, if you have to uh, uh, if you know this simply, then you know that evaluation control is basically whatever the standard you set and you want to perform as per the standard. When the process is going on, you every time check whether we are working as per the standard, as per the benchmark that we have set, or we are going in the right direction. Then you really evaluate and control. So for that, we know that when we are in a process, there's a concurrent control. You know that we want to check at a particular period of time we are going in a right direction. If not, then we'll stop and do the corrections. And once we will complete it, then if we'll check it, then the feedback, then we will come to know that whether we were wrong at some place or not. So anyhow, whatever the control type you will use, that depends on an organization. But the more important thing is that the process of monitoring corporate activities and performance results, so that the actual performance can be compared with the desired performance. So whatever you have set as a standard that you want to achieve, the mission, the objectives that you have set and you work on, and then you at the end will check whether you have performed, whether your objectives are achieved or not. That is evaluation and the control. Now this is the diagram of strategic decision making process. If you will see here in this diagram from left side of the screen, 1A, evaluate current performance results. So we actually evaluate what is the current performance of an organization, what are the results that an organization is actually giving, and then they examine and evaluate the current mission, objectives, strategies, policies. Then they do the review. After review, if they can scan the external and internal environment, because whenever the results are not good for an organization, it's not every time that you will go to the external environment and check whether everything is going fine there or not, but you have to check simultaneously the internal environment. So that isn't there any fault within our organization, within the employees, within the machinery, the technology we use. It's not every time what the others, when we go outside the organization and what the competition is doing, or is there any pressure from the competitors, then we are not performing well. So it's every time to keep consideration both external and internal environment. And then you go to the 3B section, analyze external factors, opportunities, and threats. And then you go to the internal, analyze internal factors, strength and weakness. So it's important here the SWOT analysis is being used, because externally threats and opportunities are going to come towards you, and within the internal environment the strength and weakness will be there. So you have to look the strength and weakness, and at the external environment you have to look the opportunities and the threats. Then you go ahead and review and revise as necessary mission and objectives. If there are changes, then you have to review your mission and the objectives. Then you will generate the evaluate the strategic alternatives. What are the different other options available to you? You have to make them, you have to formulate them, then you have to select the best one among them, and then you will implement those program budget and the procedures, and then evaluate and control. So this is the total strategic decision making process. So in short, it was the concept of overall strategic management. In the next lectures, we will discuss one by one each and every section so far that we have discussed here, not in detail, but it was just an oral concept of the strategic management. So I'm very thankful from the team of the Next Step Learning Solutions. Please subscribe my channel and press that bell icon for latest updates. Support my channel by sharing it to your friends and the other students, and don't forget not to give those comments as a feedback at a particular lecture, at a particular video. Give the feedback in the comments, and take care. Have a nice day. We'll meet soon in the next lecture. Till then, bye bye, take care.